You know, the average Nigerian, especially at the bottom, doesn't really know or care about tax. But the rich are always talking tax, except when they're gatekeeping. Because here's the truth, tax is the magic curtain. It's what separates two people earning the same income. One can keep more money and becomes a millionaire or billionaire, and the other, without learning about taxes, keeps less money or even goes bankrupt when government comes for backlog of taxes. A wise person once said, one of the great advantages of life as it relates to wealth creation is getting good tax advice. It's even better when you discover tax education before you start making money, before you start a business, register a company, or receive any big payment. And as a disclaimer, I am a lawyer, but I'm not your tax advisor. I am just educating you on the possibilities of what can be done. Armed with this knowledge, you need to do what works for you and seek the tax advice for your particular situation. If you are new to this channel, hi and welcome. I'm Ada Eze, and on this channel I'm sharing the business strategies that I have either used myself, helped someone to apply, or I've been in the room with people who are using these strategies to make and keep millions. Today we're talking tax avoidance, not evasion. The first one is legal, the other one is not, which is why I don't share strategies that I'm not willing to use myself. So let's get into it. Let's pull back that curtain together and look at what Nigeria's new tax laws are really saying. Let's start with individuals. Here's what's changing for you as an individual or business name. That's 21% consolidated relief allowance we talked about in the last video is being restructured. From January 2026, that CRA is gone. It's replaced with smaller itemized reliefs. For example, 20% of your rent, which is capped at 500,000, so you can't claim more than 500,000 naira. Instead of a 21% flat relief across board for both rich and poor, the new law introduces a rent relief for tenants only tied to verified records, meaning if you don't keep proper records, you can't claim the relief. Next, there is a new progressive tax bracket. The good news is there's no tax payable for the first 800,000 naira you earn. This one is for everybody, but especially for making sure that really poor people pay no tax at all. But after that, the rates jump to 15% for the next 2.2 million, 18% on the next 9 million, 21% on the next 13 million, 23% on the next 25 million, up to 25% on the remaining income above 50 million. Now let's look at the business which runs as a company. The new law says companies that make 100 million or less in turnover and have fixed assets under 250 million naira will pay 0% income tax. That's right, if your business makes 100 million in sales and your assets are under 250 million, you will pay nothing in income tax. Meanwhile, an individual who is a sole proprietor starts paying 15% tax as soon as they earn more than 800,000 as gain. Even if the business is small, 2 million, 3 million. Once the reliefs are deducted and money is remaining, they still owe something, while the company owner owes 0. So if both businesses make 3 million in profit, as a sole proprietor, you may get rent relief. You may also get other specific deductions if you have them documented, like life insurance premium, mortgage interest, and contributions to social schemes. But let's simplify. And we are assuming you will get the maximum deduction of 500,000. Your taxable income becomes 2.5 million. Under the new progressive tax brackets, you will pay 0% tax for the first 800,000. The remaining 1.7 million falls under the next 2.2 million bracket, so you will be taxed for that at 15%, which is a total of 255,000 in tax. And as you can see, under the new tax laws, This personal tax has reduced from 350,000 in the last video to 255,000. Good move. But on the other hand, as a small company, it's even better. You will pay 0 naira. Same business, same profits, very different tax outcomes. Because of the new tax law taking effect 1st January 2026, they won't be taxed the same way at all. Let's note at this point that this 0% income tax for small companies was first made possible by the Finance Act of 2019 for companies earning less than 25 million annually. The new law builds on this foundation in a more permanent way, increases the exemption for small companies, expands tax reliefs, and simplifies compliance for micro, small, and medium enterprises. But medium-sized companies still pay a flat 20% on income tax, and is 30% for big companies with stricter compliance for both. So from January 1st, 2026, Nigeria's tax system takes a bold new turn. The tax tables flip. Small companies still get a holiday, but small individuals pay a little more. It's not about punishing sole proprietors. It's about closing gaps and modernizing. The government wants to simplify the tax system, reduce abuse of blanket reliefs, and encourage formalization. So what does this mean for business owners? Firstly, if your business is growing past 1 to 3 million profit, it might be time to incorporate a company. That way, your business could grow significantly before you hit the standard tax rate. Secondly, if you remain a sole proprietor, make sure you claim your rent relief and keep proper records. Every deduction matters. And finally, whether you bake or not, the key is knowing where you stand before tax season begins. If you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon. Because by the time we're done with this series, you'll understand Nigeria's new tax laws better, like most accountants. And you're not just subscribing to a channel, you're joining a movement of people who are pulling back the curtain on business strategies and tools for wealth creation, like avoiding paying more tax legally. See you next deal.